guys, welcome back to another video. I was going through my perfume collection as a fragrance addict normally does, and just kind of smelling a lot of my fragrances. And because of the past season, it's been fairly cold where I am, so I had a little thought of maybe sharing some of my warm florals that I have in my collection, because I realized that I had quite a few fragrances that would fall into the category of what I call a warm floral, meaning that they are primarily floral fragrances, like most of my collection is, but with these particular scents, they have a certain quality that warm them up. They're not so they're not really fresh types of scents. Maybe they might have a little bit of citrus, but again, it's not really a fresh fragrance. It's not a fresh floral style of perfume. And I find that warm florals are really great for cold weather. I do like gourmands, but I've noticed that I do like my gourmands that are based in florals. So I have about 10, 10 fragrances in my collection that I categorize as a warm floral. And I wanted to share them with you. Just again, we're just talking about perfumes. They range from, I have a couple very inexpensive fragrances. A lot of them are, readily available. And I do have some that are designer and no niche. Maybe one day, I'll find my niche fragrance. But for right now, just a couple cheapies and easily available designer fragrances. So the first one that I wanted to share and talk to you guys about is Banana Republic's Gardenia and Cardamom. Now, I've talked about this fragrance a bit in the past. This is primarily a white floral fragrance, hence, Gardenia in the title. When I first purchased this, I thought this was going to be quite a spicy fragrance, and when you see it on perfume websites, they do categorize it as a warm, spicy floral fragrance. But to be honest, I don't get anything spicy, but I can see the warm quality in it. Now, this is primarily a tuberose jasmine fragrance. There is gardenia in the top note, but really I get a lot of tuberose and a lot of coconut. And I think that's what gives it that warm quality. There is some wood in the dry down, a little bit of amber, but primarily this is a very warm, almost tropical white floral fragrance. There's gardenia, there's tuberose, there's jasmine, there's ylang ylang. There is cardamom, hence the name Gardenia and Cardamom. I don't particularly get something that's spicy in it. Really, I get a lot of tuberose and ylang ylang. On websites like Fragrantica, they say that a lot of people say this is similar to Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc. I've only maybe smelt that once or twice in my lifetime, if I've ever passed like a Nordstrom or a Neiman Marcus, if I've ever stepped into one. But I can see where the similarity is. It's not, I'd say it's more like inspired by a very, very distant inspiration. But it is a very bright, solar, warm, almost coconutty, sunscreeny type of white floral. And what gives it that warm facet, like I'm saying, is with tropical florals, a bit of amber in the dry down, some woods in the dry down. I love wearing this particularly in summertime. I think anytime I wear this fragrance, it makes me think of sundress season. Crisp white clothes, flowy sundress, or tight maxi dresses. It's hot, it's fun, it's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. They say that this is the Banana Republic Icon line is supposed to be unisex. I can see both men and women wearing this. I think in my experience, this may lean a little feminine, but do with that as you may. Next, warm floral fragrance is an all-time favorite of mine and a very inexpensive fragrance. This is a celebrity scent. This is M by Mariah Carey. And this is a beautiful white floral that's based, I should say, this is a very smoky, woody, ambery white floral. There is some freshness in the opening. It has top notes of C notes, so it kind of gives it a little aquatic, maybe almost salty touch. There's marshmallow in this, which gives it a beautiful, like vanillic type of sweetness. Mid is tiare flower and gardenia, which again, I've been finding that tropical flowers like ylang ylang or tiare flower really, sorry guys, I'm like overcoming a cold. But tropical florals like tiare flower and not gardenia, but ylang ylang really give a beautiful like fullness, warmth to floral fragrances, particularly white floral fragrances. And in the base, there's amber and incense. And I think patchouli, but there's no, I don't get patchouli in this at all. I truly don't smell anything like patchouli. This is an amazing, unique fragrance. To this day, I've not smelled another fragrance that smells like this. Granted, you know, my perfume range is a little bit limited, so maybe there's a niche style fragrance that smells like this. This smells much more expensive than what it is. Like I said, it's a little salty, a little sweet, amazing like powdery marshmallow in the opening. And there's something creamy in this. I know gardenia, they say that gardenia can come across as a creamy like scent. And there is some smokiness from that incense, but not in a sense where it's like it smells like you smoked a cigarette or you smoked tobacco. There's not a tobacco note, but it just gives it like as if you've burned a gardenia incense stick. So it kind of flows all around you. I love this scent. I've loved this scent since I was a kid. And now that it's sat in my collection for a bit, I have worn this, but a little goes a long way for me. As you can see, like the juice has turned a very pretty ambery color. So it has gotten stronger as it's sat in time. This is an amazing cold weather scent. Something about the, you know, pretty warm white florals and the incense just perform beautifully in cold weather. Next I have is an amazing little cheapie. This is Solar Floral by Curations, the Good Scent. And this is exactly that, a solar floral. This is a bright, sunny, warm floral fragrance. On websites like Perfume, they categorize it as a gourmand floral. I don't necessarily get any gourmand quality from it. It is an inspiration for Sol de Janeiro's Cheirosa 62. But what I think this fragrance has is less of a gourmand quality than Cheirosa 62. And this, I purchased this at Marshall's for $12. The sticker has faded and it's only on here because I can't peel it back. It's like stuck. As you can see, I've used like just about half of this fragrance up. I love wearing this during the summertime, but I think this is an amazing year-round fragrance. Truly, like you can wear this during spring, summer, winter, fall. On the back, it does list the top notes. It lists all the notes: citrus, you know, sea salt, coconut water, orange flower, ylang ylang, heliotrope, solar musks, beechwood, and warm amber. And I'm telling you, as you can see with a lot of my fragrances here, my warm fragrances, they all share a similar quality, which is that they have some sort of white floral that's based with a tropical flower and maybe an amber or a wood. This one just happens to have like a solar quality. I don't know what that means. It doesn't necessarily smell like a sunscreen type of solar perfume. It doesn't smell like the sun, if the sun were to have a scent, but it's just something that gives it a very bright quality to it. This has, I don't really necessarily get vanilla. This doesn't have any vanillic quality, but the amber is what gives it a lot of warmth. So these were some of my favorite cheapies that have that warm quality, that warm floral quality. Next, I'll move into more of my designers. I do have more designers in this particular style of fragrance, but these are designer fragrances that are easily available, that are easily discounted as well. The next one that I have is by Coach, and this is Coach Dreams, and this is their Sunset Flanker. This is a beautiful citrusy vanillic floral. So this one, while it does have a lot of floral notes, it's based with a lot of vanilla and amber and some wood. Or maybe not wood, a lot of vanilla. This opens up with a really, really nice pear ice cream note. So, you know, it has a slightly lactonic creaminess with quality with some fruitiness. There's jasmine and magnolia in the mid note and a lot of vanilla in the dry down. Now, people say that this is similar, or this is a dupe for Carolina Herrera's Good Girl. I don't think that they're dupes. I think that they're more so just a, like I said, that similar warm floral quality. This is such a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. This is an easygoing, fun fragrance, year-round, perfect for year-round. Honestly, I think signature scent worthy, and easily, like I said, easily available, easily discounted. You go on like websites like FragranceNet or Joma Shop, or you go to discounters. You can find this anywhere. I love this flanker. I think I prefer this one more than the original Coach Dreams, which is a more freshy, like a fresh pear, or a green, like a fresh green pear. This is more on the warmer side. So take that same pear floral quality and then just warm it up with lots of vanilla, lots of lactonic qualities. All right, breaking away from my white floral trends, this is another Coach fragrance, but this one is a warm floral that's based with a lot of rose, and I've talked about this one like ad nauseum. I love this fragrance. This is Coach Wild Rose, and this is a beautiful tart jammy rose with a bit of vanilla and a lot of amber in the dry down. Amber, or even like ambroxan in the dry down. It's a very, very strong fragrance. A little goes a long way. I love wearing this during the fall and winter time because it has so much amber and, or I shouldn't say amber, but ambroxan and wood, and I think moss or patchouli in the dry down, and some vanilla. So it opens up a little tart and dries down a little warm and spicy. There's red currant and rose. So red currant is in the opening, and a lot of rose in the mid. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. But I will say that because this has a heavy dose of ambroxan, if you know you're the type who's sensitive to ambroxan, just, you know, be wary. It can trigger headaches. Sometimes it does give me a bit of a headache if I spray too much, or if I spray too close to my nose. So I try to keep this more so around, you know, my wrists and crooks of my elbows, and maybe perhaps like one spray on like my abdomen and not so on my chest. But beautiful, beautiful warm rose fragrance, which is quite different to a lot of the rose fragrances that you see. Usually we're seeing rose in a very fresh, spicy type of way. This one leans more towards a warm, spicy. And I think that was like my only warm rose-based fragrance. I have a lot of white florals. I don't know what is it with perfume trends. I think they like to bring white florals like jasmine, gardenia, tuberose, and warm tropical florals rather than using rose. I hope to see more, warm, spicy roses. And I definitely like to keep my nose out for it. If anyone knows, of a beautiful, like, warm rose scent rather than a fresh rose scent, comment one down below. I'd love to, keep my eye out for it and keep my nose out for it. But going back to white florals, my next one here I featured on my project Pan, and this one is Prada's La Femme. This is one of my all-time favorite scents. Again, I think I've talked about this one a little bit ad nauseum. This is a beautiful honey, beeswax, carrot seed, jasmine scent. So like many of my other fragrances, it has white florals. It's based with tropical florals and some wood. This one doesn't have I think this one also has vanillas. Let me pull up the notes for you guys. Yeah. So opens up with carrot seeds, magnolia, and bergamot, but truly what I get is a lot of that carrot seed. It gives it a very unique greenness. The middle notes are frangipani, tuberose, ylang ylang, iris, and some spices. Base notes are beeswax, vanilla, and vetiver. I absolutely love this fragrance. I think this smells like a beautiful soap, a luxurious soap. Now, I know a lot of these do not have a soapy quality to it. And it's like, why would a warm floral be considered soapy? That leans towards the freshness. But think of it like a very hot, steamy, luxurious bath. That's honestly what it smells like to me. The frangipani and ylang ylang gives it a very warm, tropical quality. The beeswax is what gives it some body and a very unique quality of sweetness. And it's based with vanilla. The tuberose is quite dried down, but it does give it that almost, I don't want to say generic, but that generic white floral scent. And the vetiver is probably what also gives it a bit of that woody, soapy quality. Next fragrance that I wanted to share with you guys is new to my collection, but I quickly fell in love with it. This is Valentino's Voce Viva Intensa. And this is a beautiful white floral with vanilla. It is a very simple, white floral vanilla combination. It's orange blossom. So it's very sweet, kind of powdery, a little fruity, but it's based with a lot of bourbon vanilla, which is such an interesting style of vanilla. I don't want to say it gives it a booziness, but it does give it more of a depth than, a regular standard vanilla. I think there's also like moss or patchouli in the dry down. So I'll pull up some of the notes for you guys. Like I said, top notes are mandarin orange and bergamot. Middle notes are orange blossom, jasmine sambac, and the base notes are bourbon vanilla and moss. Really, you could honestly say that there's like 3 notes in this, or there's only 3 notes that I'm getting, which is a very beautifully and well blended orange blossom, bourbon vanilla, and some moss. Really, the moss is just to kind of ground it and give it a bit of a woody, kind of semi-green quality. It is a very simple designer style fragrance, as some people like to say, but this is one of those fragrances that just smell good. Like, it just smells good. And this is honestly orange blossom done right for me. I've been finding that I don't particularly like that orange blossom that kind of leans towards that powdery, fruity, I should say. The orange blossom that is done in Love Don't Be Shy, which I have smelt, I've now gotten myself familiar with, and I do have like a little dupe for it, the Mimic 49. I'm not particularly a fan of. And the orange blossom that's done in, what was that fragrance? Dolce & Gabbana's Perfume, the signature, the original. That one I also am not too big of a fan of. But however, how they did Orange Blossom and Voce Viva Intensa is absolutely beautiful to me. This is a scent that can wear year round. I wore this primarily during the fall, but I truly think that this is something that you could wear day and night, all season. This is one of those classic signature style scents. Beautiful, sweet, vanillic, warm floral. We're going to break away from our white floral trend once more. And I'm going to share with you a scent that I have a love-hate relationship with. If you've been on my channel, you probably already know what I'm going to say. This is Dolce & Gabbana's The Only One. And like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with it. My dent does not, lie. I do wear this fragrance. When I love it, I love it. And I find that it treats me right. When I'm having my days, I don't want to be anywhere near it. That being said, this is another beautiful warm floral. Now this one is primarily violet, like sweet candied violets that's based with a lot of caramel and vanilla. So, and some coffee to also give it that warmth quality. So if you're the type of person who enjoys violet notes and maybe wants to lean away from like that fresh violet that's usually paired with like sandalwood and a lot of citruses and maybe some iris, and maybe you want to go towards that gourmand warm quality, this is a great fragrance. Sometimes it may not work for me, but this is a fragrance that I think is easily worn, well recommended. And even I would recommend it. I bought this fragrance as a gift for my mom, and I loved how it smelled on her. I think she wore it beautifully, and I think when you smell it on people, it really genuinely does smell good. Like today, I am getting that violet, but it really is based with a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel, and a lot of coffee. My preference would be if it didn't have those notes. So if I'm looking at the notes right now, it does open up with violet and some citruses, and the mid is where it has the coffee. It does have some orange blossom and rose. I don't necessarily get orange blossom, nor do I get rose. I can see how, violet and iris pair well with each other. And then in the base notes, like I said, a lot of caramel and a lot of vanilla. I think if, somebody is a vanilla girly, then this could be an easy staple in their collection. I guess it really does smell good. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I can easily recommend this fragrance. And when I do wear it, I do enjoy it on those days that it does treat me right. Next fragrance is another perfume that is relatively new to my collection, but quickly, and I mean like quickly, became a love. This is Black Opium. This is Yves Saint Laurent's Black Opium Extreme. And I honestly, I fell in love with it. I was quick to write it off when I purchased it. I was like, you know what, let me just try Black Opium. It's, I feel like every person's collection should probably have some flanker of a Black Opium. I am now familiar with the original Black Opium DNA. I didn't think I was, but I am quite familiar with it. My mom used to wear it all the time. And I will say that I love the Extreme flanker. I have recently smelled the Le Parfum, the one that has all the vanillas. And I actually just recently smelled the newest flanker, the one with the marshmallow and orange blossom. That one, I think I have to test it out a little bit more and become a little more familiar with it. I don't think that might be the Black Opium for me, but I don't want to speak too soon. But I can say that the Extreme flanker is beautiful. It is the total embodiment of a white floral. This one is based with gourmand qualities, a lot of vanilla, a lot of warm, spicy qualities, and chocolate and patchouli. I really, really love this fragrance. If I'm looking at like the accords, it's, warm, spicy, it's coffee, there's cocoa, there's vanilla, patchouli, and wood. And it's all based around that, signature Black Opium DNA. And it's all based around jasmine. The top notes for this one is coffee and cocoa or cacao. Middle notes are jasmine, sambac, and orange blossom, and the base notes are bourbon, vanilla, and patchouli. And y'all, I'm in love with this fragrance. I wore this primarily during winter time. Like, this spent like 2 months in my winter tray rotation from like end of November, December, and into the beginning of January. I was just spraying this recklessly. Well, not recklessly, but anytime that I was going out, black opium. Going out on a date night with my husband, black opium. Going out to visit my family, we're going out for whatever reason, black opium. Like, it really is one of those easy to like fragrances. I can see why it's so mass appealing. I can also see why a lot of people may not like it. Truly, I can see why, because this can be a little too much. If oversprayed on me, in my opinion, but love. It's sweet. It is floral, and I think that's why a lot of people may not like it, because it is still primarily a floral fragrance. Even though it has that bourbon vanilla, it's not like a piece of cake that you want to eat it. It's not a foodie gourmand. It's very much a warm, spicy floral with gourmand qualities. It still smells very much like a perfume, a very, rich and expensive perfume. And y'all, I think I may have like overpaid for this perfume. I bought this 1 milliliter for like $70 or $80, which was a lot. It was a lot, but I have no regrets. And once I do finish this small bottle, I will keep my eye out to repurchase. I will say that if you are a fan of Dolce & Gabbana, the only one, you may like black opium, and vice versa. I think I prefer black opium more because, like I said, I prefer white florals over violet-based florals. And last but not least, this fragrance is a repurchase. A tragic repurchase, but a repurchase nonetheless. Currently, as of right now, we're going into March 2025. I am on a no-buy, but before I started my no-buy in like October, before October, November, I searched for this fragrance, and I'm glad to say that I now have it in my collection, and I bought a full bottle. This is Carolina Herrera's, and this is Good Girl, and this is the Légère Flanker. This is such a big bottle, guys. Sorry, I gotta put it down. I love this fragrance. I bought a travel size, a little mini travel size similar to this, at a Marshall's for like $20, and my travel size broke, and I couldn't wear it anymore. I only had like a little bit of the juice left. So I was on a mission. I said, okay, I'm going to find it. Wherever I can find it. Because I didn't know. I think that they're like planning on discontinuing this fragrance, which is just my luck. I feel like all the fragrances that I end up loving, they end up being discontinued, which is so freaking annoying. But nonetheless, I was hunting, and I saw a perfume outlet at a mall that they had this scent on sale. Now, I saw retail price, it goes for like $130, $140. They were having this on sale for $110. And I figured, you know what? I'm not going to find it anywhere else. I love this fragrance so much. I pulled the trigger. I may have overspent for it, but at least I can say like I have 100 ml. This is going to last me quite a while, and I'm happy with it in my collection. I truly love this fragrance. It quickly became an instant love. I love the Carolina Herrera Good Girl DNA. It's usually based with like a lot of floral. I shouldn't say that. It's based with like a lot of fruity notes in the top. The middle note is where it has a lot of their white florals, and the base note usually has some musk, woods, vanilla, and I think patchouli and coffee. I think that's the general Carolina Herrera DNA. Now, with the Légère Flanker, This one, they made it a little lighter. So it's a little fresher than the original Good Girl DNA. And it has a more lactonic quality to it. And it has an absolutely delicious note of dulce de leche in the base. So the top notes that, I'll probably like put here. So the top notes, it's usually, like I said, has some fruitiness. This one opens up with a lot of citrus, and you smell that. It smells almost like sour with all of these citrus notes in it. It has like mandarin orange, lemon, bergamot. It's very like sour and tart in the opening. The middle notes have all the florals, like so many florals. It's got tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom, rose. Really, you're going to get, I particularly get a lot of the tuberose and jasmine. And the base note, it has like everything in the kitchen sink. There's so many notes in the base, but I really only smell like perhaps a vanilla and dulce de leche, which again gives it that creamy, vanillic, lactonic quality. Dulce de leche, if one isn't familiar with it, it's almost like a caramel. What it is like a condensed milk that's cooked and cooked and cooked and cooked all the way down and reduced down to form a bit of like a caramel. It's very delicious. I usually have it in like cakes, but I digress. Dulce de leche, it's got praline, it's got tonka bean, there's cinnamon, although again I don't necessarily get anything spicy. There's no spicy quality in this fragrance. It's primarily a very sweet, lactonic, warm floral, like a lot of the Good Girl fragrances. The Supreme, Légère, I think there's probably another flanker of it. There's so many Good Girl flankers at this point in time. But absolutely love, top favorite of one of the warm florals that I have in my collection. And that concludes my list of warm floral fragrances that I wanted to share with you guys. I think I got a good variety, primarily white florals, because I think that's how the perfume industry likes to create their warm floral fragrances. But I think a good mix. Got a couple affordable for you, got a bit of designer, got a lot of designer I should say, got some rose, some violet, some lactonic fragrances. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to me in the comments below. What are some of your favorite warm floral style fragrances? I definitely want to know. Subscribe if you want to. I definitely will appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.